Rescue Lattice and Human Barricade. Fatal Response. Signed by Arnold Morales. This was the last vinyl record that I got in the Philippines from Middle Finger Records. Yes, this one right here. Got this about a week and a half or so before I left the country. This was a 1,500 pesos, so about 30 bucks. This is actually the most expensive punk rock record that I bought there. The most expensive record in general was my Austin record, but this one here was the last one that I got, and it's the last one because it's the most expensive. If you don't know much about the Philippine history, this originally came out Twisted Red Cross in 1986. This is the second Rescue Lattice in the series there, and 1986 was a very big year in the Philippines. You have a small history from 1965 until 1986, 21 straight years. The land was ruled by a dictator by the name of Ferdinand Marcos. He had martial law. He was just a ruthless tyrant, like many we have today. But Dead Ends opened this album with the song New Life, and talked to Al Demalante himself, and he tells me the new life. The song was just about the new life after martial law had ended. 1986, the year this album released, Ferdinand Marcos was kicked out. The martial law that happened for over 21 years was finally over, and this is about personal experience of a new life in the Philippines. You know, different responsibilities, how things are changed. Many people, you know, it was over 2 decades. A lot of people, they only knew a life under martial law. They didn't know what the word freedom meant, and now it's like, oh wow, Marcos is gone, it's over, it's a new life, and what do we do next? It's pretty much what that song is about. It's new life after EDSA Revolution of '86 and martial law. Next we got Giant Idiots. Now, I've already talked about these 3 songs in my Fascinating World of Garbage review video, but if you haven't seen that one, Broken Lineage is about broken families and how maybe if the father or the mother leaves, or you lose a parent, how your entire world can fall apart. It's a really sad song, which I heavily relate to because my father was never there in my life, so definitely check that one out. It's a hardcore, fast-paced, just furious song. As Giant Idiots, they're not just hardcore punk, they're noisy hardcore. Dead Ends is just a classic hardcore punk band, and I love them to death. Giant Idiots are noisy hardcore to the just fury with GI. 9 years of service, you got the flag. Now, I've talked about the flag on my Fascinating What a Garbage video. This song is a middle finger to Marcos, and dangerously on fire. This is a missile launcher. This is a missile launcher. Okay, you see that guy right there? You see what he's doing with the Twisted Red Cross, little nukes he's got? That right there is the flag. That Twisted Red Cross missile is going to blow up in Marco's face with this song. The Philippine flag is a dirty old rag, and Ferdinand is a fairy. He eats little girls and talks to little boys, and his wife still has her cherry. Talks about the atmosphere of the Philippines at the time, and how the Filipino dream is practically worthless, and how the system is corrupt, and the country is going to shit because, you know, Marcos is terrible. It's just a very politically charged song that's definitely a huge reflection of the times, and honestly, some would say that it even relates to today and current administration, but that is just a very furiously politically charged, angry, hardcore, noise punk song. Definitely give it a listen, even if you're not a Filipino, because, you know, these guys, they had balls of steel to write something like that back in the day, and even today to play it. They still got some balls of steel. June and Benji and George and them, you know, guys, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing when they wrote that. Woods. Now, we go from Dead Ends talking about a new life to social change in the country. There's also some political change, too, because, you know, Marcos is out and martial law is over. George Imbecile is talking about broken families and martial law with the flag and government corruption and all that. Woods. Patay Buhay. Now, this is where the album takes the turn into the religious sense. And not into the Catholic sense, which a lot of you might be like, wait. Got a response. This came out in the Philippines. Philippines is primarily Catholic. So what do you mean not in the Catholic sense? Yeah, it kind of shocked me too, but Wood is actually, they are religious, but in the Christian belief. Patay Buhay, which I don't really know anything about the Christian belief. I believe it's based in India, something like that. Which, if you check out Wood's later albums, you will see that they definitely steer in the direction of Krishna. But Patay Buhai just means it's talking about the afterlife, how humans don't actually die, how we ascend to a different life. That's pretty much what Patay Buhai means. Just, through Krishna, we do not die. We live forever. We ascend to another life, to a better life. In Asante Lang Ang Nagtaktaka, that song is just about society and how it's ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. People are, they pretend like they know what's going on. They pretend like they see it and they hear it, but they really don't. They're just stupid. Ignorance is bliss. So we got Woods on here being socially aware, but in more of a spiritual and just socially charged, spiritually charged, wake up, they're trying to be positive while addressing the negatives that are going on that are hurting the country. So far, side one, very politically charged, very socially awake, spiritually moving. Fatal Response in general, like I said, is a very politically charged album. This album, it means business. I mean, it's called Fatal Response for a reason. It's not a joke album. It's not just your standard hardcore punk fury. This is a very in-your-face, this is what's going on at the time. This is what's happening. We are trying to wake you up so that you understand what is going on. Now listen to us. That's what this is. Side 2, we get some more Urban Bandits with News of the World. As I said in my Independence Day review, this isn't necessarily a punk rock song. It's mainly the Urban Bandits, Arnold, since he's a vocalist, doing a chant, doing a politically charged hardcore rant over a hardcore punk instrumental in the background. That is what that is, which I don't necessarily... It's kind of hard to understand this one, and I can't find any lyrics for it, but from what I've been told, it's a politically charged rant over a punk rock instrumental. Battle of Mendiola, I talked about it in my Independence Day review video. That song is a hardcore, I mean a furiously hardcore song about Mendiola Street and the many protests that have taken place there. Mendiola, since for decades, has been the home, has been the birthplace, and just the battleground to an extent, in some cases, for many protests, many clashes between the police and people in the government. It's outside of Malacanang Palace, Mendiola Street. If you're ever in the Philippines and you're on Mendiola Street, watch out, Filipinos, unlike Americans, they can get violent, but I lived there for almost a year, and I saw many protests. And Filipinos are actually quite peaceful. I mean, yeah, some do get out of hand, but Americans love my country, but a lot of times riots in my country get way too out of hand, looting and destruction of private property. I never really saw much of that over in the Philippines when it comes to riots, A lot of them, they hold up their signs and they'll shout in the megaphones and all that, but there's no torching of police cars, But Filipinos, for the most part, don't have guns. Americans have guns, Americans have weapons, and that might be the difference. I'm not going to get into all that, but that's what the Battle of Manila is about. It's just about the history of Manila Street and many of the battles that have taken place there, protests, and so forth. So we got Urban Bandits talking about politically charged news and his history with protests. Zoot Suit, we're finally going to calm down. They didn't started us out with some social change of the new era. GI talks about broken families and politically charged 9 years of service with the flag, how the government's corrupt and society is falling apart, because greedy machines. Woods is talking about spirituality and how we are not going to die, we're going to live, ascend through Krishna, and also about ignorance is bliss. Urban Bandits, as I said. Zoot Suit is nothing like the rest. This is the time we're just gonna rock and roll. Like private stock. Take a look at that boy, take a look at that boy, take a look at that boy. Zoot Suit has some saxophones, there's ska, they're rockabilly, they're 50s doo-wop. Which, this is unfortunately the last time you're going to hear Zoot Suit. They're on Fatal Response, and they're, I believe, on Brave New World Live, which is the second Twisted Red Cross release. These guys don't have an album, and I think they might be on some other bootleg various artist compilations, these songs, but they never made an album. And actually, I've talked to many of the punks in the Philippines, and not many people know who Zoot Suit is. But damn, after getting all wound up with all the politically charged, socially charged, spiritually charged, after getting all wound up and all, yeah, I'm ready to fight the revolution. After getting into that mode, you finally get to calm down a little bit with some Zoot Suit, with some rock and roll classic, just good old fashioned relax. The fight's over, you know, we kicked Marcos out, it's done. You know, it's time to relax. All the hardship is done. Take, you know, suit yourself. Let's rock and roll, let's dance, and let's have a party. That's Zoot Suit. And then at the very end of the album, Dead End says, hey, it might be over, but don't drop your guns. Don't give it, no. You think now that we kicked Marcos out, we can just sit back and relax? We can for a little bit. But guys, if you want to keep this freedom, if you want to keep this country free, if you want a better life, don't drop your guns. Don't you dare look away. Oh, no. You can't look away. The moment you look away, it's just going to happen all over again. So don't drop your guns. That's how to wrap this album up. Dead End starts it out with a new life, and Dead End closes it with, hey, you want to keep this new life? You want to keep this freedom? You want to make this revolution mean something? That's 1986. That's a revolution. Do you want it to mean business? Don't drop your guns. Don't drop your guns. And my friend, that's why Fatal Response is my favorite Rescue Letters album, because it's just politically charged. It covers every aspect of the time it came from. It really does. Seriously, it does. Fatal Response. It really is a fatal response to the times that it came from. And looking at the album here. Now, what's cool is this vinyl record here is an exact representation of what the original cassette looked like. No changes of color, no changes of design. Because if you notice on the Rescue Letters and Human Barricade 1 reissue, because obviously this is a reissue, on the Rescue Letters 1 reissue, the Twisted Red Cross logo is gone. If you looked at it, the flag of the Twisted Red Cross, it's gone. On the insert, there's a Twisted Red Cross logo, and I showed you. But on the actual reissue itself, the Twisted Red Cross logo is gone. But it's all over this one, including down there at the bottom. And this 2016 vinyl reissue was by Croce Rosa Nandistroto, manufactured and printed in the Czech Republic. So, Fatal Response TRC-06 is part 2 of the Rescue Letters in the Barricade series. 1986 cassette tape released in the Philippines by Twisted Red Cross, as we all know. Ex-producer Tommy Tanchenko, recorded and mastered by Studio Z, engineers and design are there. Now, another thing you might like about this one, all songs were originally made, composed, and written and arranged by the bands. We have the personnel of each band on here. We got Dead Ends, we got Al DiMolanta, vocals and guitar, Jay DiMolanta, bass and rowing on drums, George Imbecile Idiots, Wes Lou on drums, June Ortega on vocals, and George Imbecile, which he left the band and later on he left the band, because he's in George Imbecile Idiots. He's on bass, and Benji is on guitar. Woods, Alfred is on vocals and bass, Bobby, vocals and guitar, and Aji, he's on drums. Urban Bandits, obviously Arnold is the vocalist, and he does a damn good job at it. Rogel is on drums, Ferdy is on guitar, and Dondi is on bass. And Zoot Suit, the mystery band, we got Raina on vocals and guitar, Ross on drums, Nilo on, I believe, saxophone, and Leo on bass. So, there's a little bit of information about Zoot Suit. But yeah, I like how all the information about the bands, well, all the relevant information is right there. You get to see who the band and who's in the lineup for this, and it's really nice. Fatal Response, unlike, well, okay. The difference between the reissue of Rescue Letters 1 and Rescue Letters 2 is this is actually a genuine reissue. The reissue of Rescue Letters 1, from what I've been told, is a bootleg. This is not a bootleg. This was given permission. So this is an authentic, genuine reissue. I mean, and they really paid respects and tributes to Twisted Red Cross by putting the logo all over the place. Because technically, if they didn't do that, if they didn't have permission, I believe they could be sued for this. But that's probably why Rescue Letters 1 reissue the Twisted Red Cross logo was nowhere to be seen because it's a bootleg. So I really like this one the best just because it stays true to the original design, and it looks fucking amazing, doesn't it? The colors are right, the artwork is great, you can read it, you know, it's really good sound quality too. This vinyl is really good sound quality. The bands and all of the personnel are listed down there. Pays respects and tributes to Tommy Tanchenko and the original creation. Tells you the history of it, and you know, it shows where it's made now. Up here, Urban Bandits, Zoot Suit, Dead Ends, Woods, George M. Soul Idiots, Skeletons and Barricades. And of course, inside of here we have the actual record itself, which, so, it's 1,500 pesos. There is no insert, but I got this sealed. It's okay though. I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have some pictures of the bands inside and some lyric sheets and, you know, all of that good stuff. It'd be pretty cool to have that, but I paid 1,500 pesos for it, and the vinyl itself sounds good, and a lot of the information is right there, and here's the record itself, which is the biggest A+ on this. It is a blood red, translucent record. Yeah, look at that. Nothing says Fatal Response like a blood red, beautiful vinyl record. Nothing says Fatal Response like that. It's even got the Twisted Red Cross logo right there on the A side, no, on the B side, and on the A side. Look at that. This is such a neat and respectable reissue of Twisted Red Cross Fatal Response. Such a beautiful reissue, and thank you to Middle Finger Records and Recto Manila for selling this, because I'm honored to own it. I'm honored to have it in my possession. But guys, as a Memorial Day tribute, I just wanted to say, you know, J.D. Malanta, damn good guy. This video is in dedication and in memory of J.D. Malanta, of Dead Ends, and Weslew, of G.I. Idiots, Patriska, and Private Stock. I interviewed Mel Maniego of Private Stock, and part of that interview was in dedication to also Weslew and Edmund, as they passed away. You know, it's good to do videos like this and keep the memories of all of those punks and all of those important people who helped make revolutions happen, who helped make good music like this, and not just reviewing the album and not just talking about it, but talking about the people who made it happen. You know, this is a very fast-paced, hardcore, just raw into the cut, hardcore punk album. It really is. Similar to the first Rescue Ladders, only this one is a lot more politically charged. The first one is. But this one, the first one is just more punk rock. Furious, fast-paced punk rock. This one is more furious, fast-paced punk rock, but more politically charged because of the lyrical content of each of the bands, other than Zoot Suit. With Zoot Suit, we take a small step away from the politically charged, emotionally charged, socially charged punk rock aspect, and we have a more having fun rock and roll aspect, because, you know, not everything needs, to quote Betrayed's newest album, why must everything involve politics? And hey, martial law is over now. Let's rock and roll a little bit, shall we? So it's a good, Tommy is a genius. Tommy Tanchenko, the guy who put this together, he's a bloody genius for putting Zoot Suit on there. Not just one song, but 2 songs. Just to relax, okay? Let's party, let's have a good time. Zoot Suit. Which, one other thing, if you want to know who came up with the name of this album, that goes to Arnold Morales. When I interviewed Arnold, he told me that he is the designer of this record here, well, the cassette. He came up with the name. He is pretty much the genius behind that. So, shout out to Arnold Morales there. If you want to see him talk about this, watch my interview with Arnold. It's on my channel. And, oh, look at that. I just noticed there's more people down there. There was a lot of shit happening on this record here. So, look, all the people are lined up. I can't tell if those are cops or if those are people or something. Can't really tell, but you can definitely see there is a bloody revolution happening on this picture. You can definitely see that. This guy here, he's making some bombs, it looks like, with a twisted red cross. The punk rock revolution is happening. Looks like that's a tank or something in the background. Can't really tell what that is 100%, but this record definitely means business, and I am so honored. Anyway, guys, I'm Anarka Akaza. Thank you so much for watching this video, and like I said, this video is in dedication to Wesley Winter J. DeMolanta. Without further ado, happy Memorial Day to all you out there, and to any punks who passed away in the past, happy Memorial Day to you, and your legacies will forever be remembered. До свидания.